broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Welcome to the winter finale of Grey's Anatomy on AfterBuzz. We are happy to have you guys. This is season 12, episode 8, I believe.
That's right.
And I'm Julie Partin.
I'm Tara Johnson.
And I'm Marisa Serafini.
We will miss Jay tonight. He's traveling with friends. That guy lives such a luxurious life. But please keep up with us during the show on Twitter with the hashtag ABTVGrays.
Yes.
And let's get to it. This episode to me was fantastic.
I really enjoyed it. Again, the light and serious moments, all perfectly blended together.
I will say surprises, because there were a couple of times I was like, say what? What did they say? What's going to happen?
I went into this episode basically with one thing. Tell me what's going on between Owen and Riggs or I'm done.
Right.
I'm going to be furious for the next few months. And while they didn't tell me the full story, they told me enough, I feel satisfied.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't?
No, because I just want to know what the freaking happened. What happened?
Well, we got a little bit, but we got a cliffhanger too.
A little bit, but not enough.
We got something. We got a lot.
Yeah. They laid a lot of foundation. It was a mom there. There was a brother first.
Well, let's jump into the recap, because that was, an hour in, and it was something that we waited for a while.
Yeah.
But it starts out, and everybody in this entire show's like, is it snowing? Is it snowing? Are y'all doctors or what? Because I knew the second somebody asked, is it snowing, that it was ash.
Yeah, and they never came back to that. I mean, not that they needed to come back to that again, but it was just kind of like, is that snow? Like, no one ever mentioned it again. Like,
although there was a fire in the Santa Ana Mountains or something like that a couple of years ago when I was living in Long Beach. I came out of Barnes & Noble. I really had the same thought.
Really? I mean, it was that
so
much.
So you've experienced it.
It is exactly like that. And you know what? Honestly, up close, you could tell it's ash. It kind of turns into dark dust on your hands or whatever. But when you walk outside, your mind, white falling things, is it snowing? Yeah, so.
Interesting.
I'm just surprised. I'm trying to think back on all these seasons of Grey's. Have we ever really had Wildfire storyline?
No.
I was like, all right, that's a new thing.
I think so.
I like that.
Yeah.
Just another natural disaster that definitely brings everyone back to...
That is true.
It reminds us that Seattle's the least safe place to live, at least in this realm.
It must be.
But so we find out that Bailey is just... Bring them all. Bring everybody. I don't care if we have ORs. I don't care if we have tables. I don't care if we have doctors. We don't turn away firefighters.
Yeah, but I was surprised by that. I was waiting for some kind of storyline around that, because she seemed so emphatic around that, not just trying to be like a chief in her first trauma. I thought it was like really a reason behind
I didn't need a reason. I needed her to send firefighters where places where they weren't getting operated on in the lunchroom.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really mind the fact that she's like, yeah, let's save them all, because that's their job. They're just supposed
I don't mind
to save
that either. It's just weird to take on too many people you can't treat.
That's the thing.
I think, but also Weber did point out this is your first big major trauma as chief. Can you handle it? And I think it was just her trying to get over her head, being like, yeah, we can handle 40 people, sure.
It was funny because Chief's mentoring her, and I still wonder why Chief isn't Chief.
Chief is mentoring everyone in these episodes lately.
That's like all he does. Yeah.
I love it though. Richard needs something, I mean, he had before when he got married, now he's married.
He's obviously like not operating on anybody. But yeah, so he's mentoring Bailey, like, don't get your binders out. She's standing up there. Scooch up, girl.
Yeah.
Scooch up a little more. And she's really tiny. She's like 4'10" in real life.
She's short.
Yeah, she's short.
Just a few more steps.
Yeah, that part cracked me up. And so they bring all those people in. Everybody from On Call is having to come in. And it's just really immediately apparent that they can't handle all of them.
Everyone. Yeah.
They're like, oh no, we don't want to take him into an operating room too soon. Like, oh well, we need extra tables. They're just dying in the hallway. It was crazy.
Yeah.
There was no plan.
Right.
Really.
But she tried to find the plan, and then Richard told her to close the book. Close the book.
Just do it.
Just handle it. Just handle it.
So there was this moment, and this was foreshadowing for the rest of the entire episode. In the carpool on the way to the hospital today was Amelia and Meredith and Joe and Alex, and they were just kind of all cross-fighting each other.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess, it was foreshadowing, but should we break that whole force them in the car down? Can we do that?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, so the notes that we take for these shows, this one was extensive because it took so many different turns that I didn't see coming in this episode. Usually I have half as many notes as this, but I just was having to keep track of it. But, so first off, Jo was in rare form tonight. She was so pouty.
That's how it came across to me.
You think that's rare?
Okay, no, you're right. That's Jo. Jo was in Jo. She went full Jo tonight.
She did.
Which is really upsetting because we're seeing all these episodes, these past recent episodes, like she'll have a moment, but then in the end she kind of redeems herself a little bit, and then we have hopes for her for the future. And then this was just like straight back to zero, Jo that we all know and kind of find annoying.
Just pouty, whiny. Oh my gosh.
For somebody who, like Jason used to say, was the dumpster diver, she really should have more fight in her,
Wow.
That's what Jason used to call it. But she really, I mean, even during Bailey's speech, Joe's sitting there looking Stephanie like this.
It was just pouty.
Don't you think she would have more fight in her for a street girl?
I want to know if anyone out there felt anything but like, did anyone feel any sympathy for Jo? Because I was just like, come on, buck up. You got to do better than this. You are really working my nerves right now.
Well, I know that some people on our different YouTube channels and online are like, okay, finally you guys are addressing how bad Meredith is treating Jo.
Is she really treating her that poorly?
I think Meredith's kind of been treating everyone poorly this season.
Jo's been bringing it upon herself, though, in fairness. Let's be real.
I think, let's really think about it. I mean, Meredith and Alex have a relationship. Do Meredith and Jo really have a relationship outside of Alex in the hospital?
Well, that's the thing. They were saying that Meredith acts like she doesn't even exist.
Because their paths don't really cross, other than the fact that Jo also lives at the house.
That's enough. They're roommates, and her boyfriend is Meredith's like best friend now, so that she should be nicer to her. Yes, but Jo just doesn't do herself any favors by acting so pouty and so victim-y all the time.
Yeah, because I don't think
sulky.
Meredith's character in the state that she's in right now, treating everyone like crap or whatever, is not going to respect that. Like, she's not going to be like, oh, I feel so bad how I'm treating Jo, let me treat her better. Like, Meredith
doesn't feel bad for anyone right now.
Thank you. So it's like, come on, she's not going to respect that. You're not going to get anything more from her.
Yeah, well, one of the big things, probably the biggest thing of this episode, was just the fact that we delve more into the Riggs drama. And that started out with them bringing in this guy, and Meredith's like, no, I don't want you, I want Pierce. He's like, no, I'm here. Get Pierce. No, I'm here. And then they were having this argument about, we need to do some sort of ultrasound on this to make sure there's no bleed. And he rips a steak out of the guy.
Oh,
he did.
That was just painful to watch. I mean, like, I can usually handle some of the gruesome moments, but that was a metal bar. And after all these episodes of Grace that we watched, we know it's never good just taking something out like that.
Yeah.
So
I was actually thinking about this over the week. Remember when Owen first came on the show, and his first surgery was like this hack job stitches?
Mm-hmm. And he was straight trauma.
He took the things out because he said it was a superficial wound.
He was the same thing. He and Riggs, now you think about it, are like parallel. Like, they're very similar.
This was definitely his, I've been in combat operating and people, intense in the desert moment. But that was also very disrespectful of him.
Yeah, well,
I think so.
In fairness, too, when Owen first came to that hospital, too, he completely messed up an operation because he used that easy glue that was right next to him.
Yep.
And then he got reprimanded. He's like, you're not on the field anymore. We have actual operating ORs, that can actually properly do this. So it's like, I think it's just Riggs is still caught in that mindset, like he's out on the field, use whatever is convenient to him to help have a patient survive.
But at that moment, that wasn't just instinct and I've been fighting in the field too long. That was rude. He straight up didn't listen to her. He's not listening to anybody, and it seems like pretty much everybody at the hospital hates him.
Well, I mean, for that behavior, I have to say, you can say what you want to say about Meredith, but she is the most loyal person.
Yeah.
Like, if I remember last week when she was like, do we hate him? And Owen was like, we hate him. And now she was like, that's it. He's off my list. Done. We hate him.
End of story.
Yeah, I'm done with him. Like, she is the most loyal person ever, and she hates him. She doesn't know the story. She doesn't need to know the story. You are dead to me.
So she doesn't need to know the story, but everybody else did.
Totally.
They were all chatting about it, all gossiping about it. All of us feel the same way. And Callie's like, oh, it's scuttlebutt. Never heard that before. Not once. Is that a term?
I've heard that term.
It's a term for gossip?
Usually not used. It's gossip's the more go-to word for that.
She's like, no, it's scuttlebutt. Sometimes when people call me nosy, I'm like, I'm a journalist. It's a journalistic
Let
instinct.
me write that one down. I'm a journalist. That would be my go-to.
It's a journalistic instinct. But yeah, so everybody was gossiping about it. Everybody wants to know. We want to know. And Owen could not be acting more weird about it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was, like the whole last episode, he was like having flashbacks and that type of thing. Like, I couldn't figure out what it was. I mean, you guys heard my prediction before. I thought it was Teddy. I thought it was over Teddy.
A lot of people did. You weren't the only one.
Yeah.
A lot of people were thinking Teddy was involved in this, or like somehow he killed Teddy in the season since, or something like that.
Right. I totally thought it was Teddy, but now knowing what I know, I can understand the intensity, because I'm sure he's been trying to deal with whatever this is. We'll get the deets later on, season, after the new year. But he's been dealing with this for a while, so he's just trying to contain the rage.
Yeah, so what happened is we find out that the guy with the stake in his body is Owen's old mom's young boyfriend.
Yeah. Do you remember that episode?
Yeah, I remember it.
I still don't find that really like believable or viable. But
there was a whole episode.
Oh yeah.
That.
Oh my gosh, I remember it. I just can't believe they're bringing that back because it seems so unrealistic.
But I think they just played it up in that way. But it's someone that's close to Owen. It's someone that's close to his family, which also just ties back to Riggins' situation. Whatever happened. It happened to someone.
You had a Friday Night Lights moment.
I'm sorry.
Don't we all?
I did.
Don't we all?
Anyway, go ahead.
Riggs. Whatever happened with Riggs in the past, it had to do something that was close to Owen.
Yeah. So we find out that it's his mom's boyfriend. Owen goes in there. I don't want him operating. Reasonably so. You hate somebody, you don't want him. And then I really think he could have got him out of the room if he had just told them what was going on. But he wouldn't tell them what was going on at all.
He just said, I don't want him touching my family. I don't want him touching my... Like, he said that, 3 or 4 times in the episode or whatever,
It was definitely
not near his family.
And then Pierce comes in there and she's like, is there a reason? And he wouldn't say it. He just stormed off.
Which was really weird. I mean...
He really does not want to tell anyone.
He really does not want to tell anyone.
And Amelia, reasonably so, has a problem with it. We all have a problem with it. Just tell somebody. Tell us.
But in his own way, the only person he's probably going to talk to, and he has, even though he hasn't said any details, is Meredith. And so, Meredith knows how to handle him because of his relationship with Christine. It's just kind of like, tell me as much as you're going to tell me. I'm going to accept what you're going to tell me, and I'm just going to stand by you, because that's what Christine used to do all the time.
Well, let's just finish up that storyline because it was such a main part. So it turns out whenever she's walking the hallway, Owen's mom sees Riggs, and it's a completely different moment than we expect. First of all, she knows him.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Second of all, she weepily hugs him, saying his name.
Yep. And Nelson, right?
Nathan. So, honestly, right then, we still didn't know what happened. It could have been his childhood friend. It could have been anything. But then they have this conversation, and Meredith's like, do you think that his mother is his mother? Because that's happened to me before. My favorite line of the whole night, Meredith yeah, I've done that twice, maybe 3 times.
Mm-hmm. I wrote down, they're brothers? Oh my gosh.
And so we didn't find out till later, until we confirmed, whenever the two guys go up to each other, Owen and Riggs, he calls her Ma. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Owen's like, my family, not your family. Punch, punch, punch.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a family related thing.
And when family gets involved, it takes it all to a completely different level.
It's like you're not thinking straight because your emotions are running high, and then they, both of these guys are doing things that have to do with medicine. So like maybe they're cut from the same cloth, that they see everything so one way that they oppose each other too much because they think so much alike.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have no idea. I really feel like it's a half brother.
Do you?
Yeah, they have different last names.
Okay.
That's the reason why. That's it.
I have a different prediction.
And he doesn't have
different
and he doesn't have
prediction.
red hair. And the thing that really irks me now is that I feel like the wandering accent isn't a mystery anymore. I feel like it's a mistake. I feel like the guy sucks at an English accent. Because Owen in real life, too, is the Australian, but you can never tell on the show.
No, never tell.
Riggs, flying off the handle, Southern, Australian, New Zealander. He sometimes sounds like an old British guy. Like, the guys he really needs to just, like, hone down that dialect. It has been better this episode than the last two.
Right. He's going to work on over winter break.
Pick a country, and that's it.
He's going to work on it over
Stick
winter
with
break.
it, bro. Yeah. Yeah, so, and then Meredith has this moment. Meredith, it doesn't seem to me like she should be involved in this, but she is. Has this moment with Owen's mom, and Owen's mom obviously takes it very seriously. Shut the door, Meredith. Shut the door. This is about to be a serious conversation over my boyfriend's almost dead body. Mm-hmm. And so we see at the very end, Meredith sitting out there on a bench with Owen. I didn't know you had a sister.
Yep.
What? Come back in 2016 to find out about that.
Yep. What?
So later on in predictions, at the end of this AfterBuzz episode, we'll say what we think is going on with that one.
Totally.
But so much else happened that we cannot move past. What do you guys want to get into next? J-Brol?
Yes.
No?
Tara's like,
Well, J-Brol last week, let's get it on, right?
Yep.
And there was these like stone-faced expressions that we didn't know what they meant. And then for the first time this entire season, April's running from Jackson.
Like, cannot be caught. Like, he's like chasing her down. Stop and talk to me. Stop and talk to me. Yeah, it was weird. It was very weird.
But I like this because we have all these episodes she's chasing him, and now he's chasing her. So it's like they really just want each other.
I
They're
liked
just
it
not
too.
at the same
I liked it too, but
time.
just because it's something different than what we've seen.
Yeah, but I thought his point to her was a very true point, where she's like, I'm running because I don't want to hear what you have to say, and he's like, but you're always controlling what happens.
He's like,
I
you
thought that was
always
true.
decide
Like,
how things go.
Yes.
It's an accurate truth bomb right there.
The truth.
Callie's like, you know what? We did the counseling thing and don't have sex because it gets too complicated. And he's kind of like, oh, yeah.
I felt bad for Callie this episode because I didn't feel like she had anything to do but kind of like be a little bit annoying to me. I don't know. Like, it was, I mean, she was funny. She was the comic relief, but I was like, come on.
I take Callie that way. I accept Callie as the comic relief.
I like Kelly in tonight's episode being the person who's trying to actually give endearing advice to a friend compared to someone who's meddling into someone's business and be like, hey, give my girlfriend Penny a better task to do. So I'd rather take the fun Callie now for that's trying to be just a good friend.
You're right. If I had to choose between the two, I'll take tonight's Callie.
It was funny how Ben kept trying to be like, let's keep it professional. Back to the case. That guy, his like straightness cracks me up sometimes. And honestly, that's how a lot of people would be if this were the real hospital.
Totally, or people that you know and you see every day. I don't want to hear about your makeup, breakup, sex, and how you're rolling around in the eyes that you're making, all that kind of.
There would be someone that's like,
I don't want to hear the
knock on the on-call rooms. These are for people to rest whenever they are actually on call. I know you're not resting.
Yeah, I would be. Hear those.
There would be
Someone has to be
like
that person.
Yeah, that was cracking me up. But so they he chased her around. At the end, she was being all like wild-haired April. I know what you're gonna say. And then he's like, you never give me a chance to say it. And then she freaks out.
Yeah.
Okay, then say it, Jackson. Say it, Jackson. April is so not chill. She's never chill.
She's emotional. She's confused. They had sex. It got complicated. But I did like this moment how Jackson actually got to say what he wanted to say. So I was like, all right, maybe we're trying to find that happy middle where like now they maybe can find a compromise.
To me, so a lot of people questioned their chemistry when they first became a couple, but to me, their chemistry seems like palpable in these moments because you really feel two people that can't stand each other and hardly get along, but they're really in love, so they can't turn away from each other. That's what I feel from these two, more realistically than most of the couples on the show.
I feel their chemistry in the moments like we saw today, because normally Jackson's character is so cool and calm and collected and hot, but whatever. I don't have to digress to that. But so
any other adjectives?
Right. So in these moments, you actually see some kind of emotion and pull from the two of them. Normally, he's just like, she's just talking and running around, pushing people around, doing things, and he's just in the background like,
she's literally like running circles around him. Like,
there's April. There's April again.
I'm freaking out all the time.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's also why they're good, because April's the crazy one and Jackson's the calm one. So, like, there you go. They're a match.
It's very similar to my husband and I's dynamic. Just the fact that he is so even-keeled about everything and just, like, keeps me grounded in ways I can't stand but really need. Mm-hmm. For example, he backed up my computer without me knowing because I get nervous about doing computer backups, and then my hard drive crashed. Aww. So I literally would have lost like 6 years of things in my baby pictures and stuff. He's like, oh no, I backed it up in July. I'm like, mother of God, you're perfect for me. I don't have
what a man.
Anyway, that's those two. Maybe that's one of the reasons they're so endearing to me. Right. Is because I do feel like in couplehood and in this specific couplehood, like the yin and the yang and the personality traits that make up for each other go well together.
Yeah. The balance.
Yeah. So I don't think they're done. I don't think he was even trying to ask for a divorce. I think she's just freaking out.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to ask to have the opportunity to talk about it. Like, can we just talk about what we want?
Or can we go to counseling? And she's like, I can't hear it, Jackson! She was like, say it! And we didn't hear it, and so we're gonna have to wait till next year.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about them. They're gonna end up together. They're fine.
Just like a small fiber of me still thinks that he might say it just to make it like a left turn. That's the only reason, because I do think, given his facial expression, we haven't seen anything of any kind of joy, smile, or anything from Jackson all season, right? So now to end with that smile on his face, for him to come back and say, I want to get together, just doesn't feel like a winter finale kind of cliffhanger.
He can't stand her, but he loves her so much, he will never leave her or kick her out. Mm-hmm. That's how it is with those two. That's how I feel.
That might be true.
It was end game.
Yeah. They are. They always have been. They have been for, 9 years now?
I'll reserve until February, whatever, 2016.
Whenever Mercy came to the hospital.
So we had all of these different fireman stories. And I would say, like, the funny one of them was Arizona's butt girl. And Arizona was being off her game this episode. She starts the episode by being like, do you think that Owen and Riggs had a love triangle? No one does, Arizona.
No one.
I love how she went to the gay aspect of
April's
it.
April's like, no. Well,
no.
Yeah, so Arizona's like, something your butt. Ooh. And then the girl's like, nobody's seen that since middle school or whatever. And she's like, I found the one.
Right. Do we ever even get her name, or she in the script is like, butt girl? Like, do we know anything about
butt
her?
Firefighter.
Yeah, do we know anything else about her besides that? I don't think so.
They had some banter.
Yeah.
But this Chief Arizona friendship to me is bizarre. Arizona seems to have the weirdest friendships. Remember when her and April became like best drunk friends in the closet?
Yeah, that was amazing.
She's always becoming friends with these randoms, and it's funny. It's a hilarious dynamic. But this one, she's like, Chief, go find out if she likes me. And Chief's like, well, I have nothing else to do, but I won't do that.
Right.
I have other people to give advice to.
I like when Chief comes out and he's like not just Chief giving advice, like he's like a father figure, that kind of thing. And he's fun. Like, he's stepped in a couple times for a couple people in relationships, like.
Oh, yeah.
And always kind of, I like that side of him.
Even on this one, he's like, I need my wife to come home.
No, I think he should have. Compared to even last episode, he was willing to be Arizona's wingman.
I love it.
I was like, come on, still be that wingman. Still be that bro and help her out.
I agreed with him on this one. He's like, I'm not going to help you hit on a patient. I'm not going to vet her for you.
I get it. I mean, they are working.
She had a stitch on her butt. I mean, come on.
She goes and asks her out. She's like for a follow-up? Walks away. So then Arizona, when she's checking out, officially asks her out. And before the girl says anything, girlfriend walks in. She's taken.
With amazing red hair.
Yeah.
The girlfriend had amazing red
awesome
hair.
red hair.
I just had to say that.
It's like, that shade of red is amazing.
Oh, it was great. Sorry. Great.
She's like, hopefully this turns into my career in Shondaland.
It could. Never know.
It could very well
Never know.
So Arizona and the chief end up going out to the same place. Nice of him. Where is his wife?
I don't know, but I bet he's a fantastic wing person because he's very charming, older gentleman, out with all the ladies at the gay bars, whatever. I bet he's the best wing person.
I feel like no. I feel like if I ever saw either man or woman, young or whatever, with like a much like older person that was married, like trying to like give advice, and he's not a good wingman in my book. I don't know.
It'd be great.
I don't know. It's more like somebody like you tag team with. I don't know.
I don't know. Rich should come out. Not that I need a wing person, but Rich should come out with me. Let's test it out.
It would not. You two going out together would not be wingmen. You have these intellectual conversations and like cheers your port or whatever.
But I'm willing to give it a shot.
But that sounds fun.
Right, it sounds fun.
So we had ourselves some hot and heavy Maggie and DeLuca. Maluka. You like that hashtag? Hashtag Maluka. Hashtag Daggy.
I don't like this relationship.
Neither of those two do. I don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't feel it. Like,
see, like they're even trying to break it off, but yet they're like, oh, we don't have any other interesting relationships going on right now in Seattle Grace Hospital right now, so let's just keep DeLuca and
I don't
Maggie
hate it
together. I'm like, what?
Maggie needed love, and he's there. I don't know.
I just don't. No. It doesn't feel like anything to me. Like them, like confessing their like feelings for each other. I'm like, what feelings?
Yeah,
you're
that's
rolling
true.
Around, and that's all you're doing is rolling
physical
around.
Feelings.
I'm like, what feelings? He can't even touch your shoulder without you freaking out.
Yeah, I feel with you on that. Like, they're not at a place where they should be like, oh, I can't keep my feelings separate from you.
Yeah,
they're not there yet.
I don't feel that. I don't believe that.
Well, they had a patient, and this was the main patient in my opinion. This really old firefighter who's been in tons of burns, fighting different fires, and also his Evan. Bailey tears away his gauze, and you can see his lungs from the outside. Like, it is burned through flesh and bone and muscle. And
it was like a piece of paper. It was nothing there.
And so it was really odd to me, and I was with DeLuca on this one, they're like, he's going to die, and he knows. That to me, really? He knows? Like, he could tell by that, and they couldn't save him? I don't know. It just seemed like they didn't give him a chance. They doomed him pretty early on.
I think it was more so they established his character. He was more worried about his crew members rather than himself. He's at that point where, like, he doesn't matter anymore. It's like he wants to know all of his other firefighters are going to make it out okay because he knows he's not going to.
I kind of felt like he and Bailey resonated with each other, she being chief and he being the chief. I assume he was a chief firefighter.
That's a good point,
you know what I mean? So, like, when they had that conversation, when she was like, you've done all you can do, and he's like, you can only prepare so much, I just kind of felt like they saw each other in that moment, and she kind of sensed he knows what's really going to happen, and let's just make him as comfortable as possible. Make sure we keep him until Ruth gets here.
Well, Ruth did get there, and not going to lie, Ruth's walking down the hallway quite slowly, and I'm like, get it, girl, get it. You're gonna miss it. And she almost did, but he did pass away. He was brave. They only lost out of that huge catastrophe.
The most emotional,
definitely,
probably.
So we don't have too much time left, so we gotta rush through this.
Oh, big ups to the Backstreet Boys, As Long As You Love Me remix.
And Taylor Swift Love Story, Baby Just Say Yes. That was great.
I heard that. I was like, whoa.
Okay, so before,
boy bands.
We have a couple of things to get to really quickly. Let's go through this really fast. which one do we want to do first? Stephanie and Joe. Fighting, Stephanie ignoring her, apologized, rekindled.
Yeah, they're back.
But here's the big part. Joe goes home, all Joey and cryy and whiny, walks in wanting to break up with Alex, and he's got the champagne. We knew right then.
It wasn't that whole thing.
I think Joe was just in her mental state of mind, like self-pity.
There you go.
I'm going to break up with you because you've done nothing for my career.
Or to get some attention from someone.
I think she needed some alone time, and I agree. But he gets the ring on. She's like, "You suck at proposing." That was funny and spot on.
Yeah.
And so that was romantic to me. I mean, I like Alex, and he loves her, so they should be together. I thought,
all right, we'll see.
They've been a cute couple in the past.
I like
just because she was annoying tonight doesn't mean they're not a great couple.
No, I will say that. And I do like Alex now.
She hasn't been in previous seasons. She has been in previous episodes.
Yes, more recently.
Yeah, definitely.
But he proposed, and I thought it was sweet, and they didn't show. So we'll find out in February. And Amelia is being kept in the dark on this Owen thing, and she's mad about it. And she confronts Mare about it. They proceed to have the strangest fight that I can remember, because Amelia's like this. Meredith, you're the dark, evil little worm woman. And Meredith's like, ugh, Christina's my sister. What? Neither of them are making really good points here.
Yeah, I get where Amelia is coming from, because seeing that she is right now physically and knows everything, and granted linked by marriage, but Amelia does have the right to know what is up if it is affecting Owen, because if she's in a relationship and Meredith and Owen are keeping something from her, I get she wants that argument. But also, she does have the fair point. Why are you being loyal to Christina, who's thousands of miles away, and you can't tell me something?
Yeah,
that was a fair point.
I mean, I didn't think what Amelia was saying was really sincere. I didn't think she was mad at Meredith for the reasons she threw out. I think she's mad at Meredith because you won't tell me what's going on with Owen.
I think so too. That's a great point.
I think she's just mad because Owen won't talk to her and Meredith won't talk to her.
Well,
so
she was upset enough that we see her at the end of the episode in the bar taking the most dramatic drink I've ever seen. This is what it's like, you guys.
I was just like... I just was like, what is going on?
Lip quivering, brows furrowed, nostrils flared. Tonic. But Riggs walks in, and that's another cliffhanger. We're going to wait till 2016, but those two might be hooking up.
Okay, and there you go. That's my prediction on that kind of hanging out at the bar kind of thing. But
so this was a huge episode. All of the stories moved forward. And there's still tons of cliffhangers, but we did find out some things. I loved it. This was exactly what I wanted.
It was a really great episode.
I needed to feel satisfied tonight, and I do. And waiting till February sucks, though.
It does. I liked how all the cliffhangers leave the audience wanting more about just relationship stories. There's nothing about what's happening with the hospital or, it's all relationship stories.
Yeah, we're still piqued. Our interest is still piqued.
And Meredith is a part of them, but not really the main part of them, which is really different from the other season. So, she's intertwined in everything, but it's not about her per se.
So you guys on Twitter have loved it, and thank you so much for participating in the conversation. But really quick before predictions, let's do some news and gossip.
Ooh, bring it on,
because this is huge.
Brings it on.
All right, Grey's Anatomy was in the news cycle more often than not this week because Shonda Rhimes did an appearance on The Nightly Show with Larry Wilmore, and he asked her, have you ever killed off a character because you didn't like the actor? After pausing to consider the question, Rhimes responded saying yes. Although she admitted to killing off the character over personal issues, she would not reveal who that actor was or what show it was on. We're not naming names. So everybody has been like, girl, we know. It was George. It was Derek. It was that guy from Scandal who was beating his wife. It was Izzy.
Right.
And people are like, this makes me respect her so much less because we can tell it's not about the creative process. Whatever it was, though, we all saw this coming. Shonda's queen, and Derek was rude to her last year.
I don't think it was Derek, though.
It was all of them. She's on a crazy power trip.
Yeah, because she was on OWN with Oprah, and they talked about, like, she actually talked about the Derek decision after she made that statement.
Okay.
So that's why I don't believe it was Derek. And it could not be McSteamy, because who would ever kill him off? I mean,
she would do it.
That was too good to look at.
She did do it.
She would.
Good to look at.
Harrison, that's his name, Harrison from Scandal.
Yes.
So he was definitely a casualty. Izzy, casualty.
Well, thank you for that.
She just didn't like him. So there you go. And
gotta know who to keep happy. Gotta keep mama happy.
We have 2 more things to do before we wrap. So really quick, let's do predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So real quickly, what do you guys think happened to the sister?
I think the sister died, but I think Riggs was married to his sister. I think Riggs and Owen are actually brother-in-laws.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think. I think they're brother-in-laws, and I actually think that Riggs and Owen were very close, like best friends. And it was kind of thing where, like, oh my gosh, my best friend's marrying my sister, and then something would happen and she died. Because it just seems like they're really close. Just it's closer than just the brother-in-law thing.
Yeah, and I mean, you could be brother-in-laws and still call Owen's mother mom.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a good one. I think they are brothers, though. I think they are half brothers, and something he has done got rid of the sister. But I do think the sister is dead as well. What do you guys think Joe's going to say? I think yes.
Yes.
I think yes.
Yes, finally.
What else is she gonna do?
And Japril,
Seriously.
gonna be getting back together probably that night.
I'm gonna say I don't think so. I'm gonna reserve comment.
Okay.
On that one.
I think they're gonna actually go to counseling. Just try it out and see.
Those scenes are always funny.
I think in those counseling sessions, Jackson will bring up the idea. I was thinking about divorcing you, April, but I haven't asked you yet.
Okay.
That will stir some controversy.
There you go.
And then last one,
we'll
do we think this is the start of the Amelia spiral downward?
I hope not.
She's already spiraling.
Do you think she's going to hook up with Riggs? I do, and I wish she wasn't, but I think she's going to.
I do think she's going to hook up with Riggs. I do.
I think her and Owen are going to break up.
Yeah, after she's hooked up with Riggs.
If it's not Riggs that intervenes with that, it's something else that they're just going to break up, whether it be some other cosmic forces.
Right. Well, we won't find out until February 11th.
That's a long time.
And guys at home, I got to tell you something. I will be having this baby February 11th. So, not exactly February 11th, but that week. So
you'll be here then? I'm just kidding.
So come 2016, this is going to be my last show for a long time.
Aww.
So at least there's like a 2-month break, and a big or whatever. But like, I'm really going to miss you guys. Hopefully I make it back for the second half of next season next year. But February 11th, it's all going down. 2016, these 2 girls will be back here.
And send Julie your well wishes. I mean, this is
fantastic.
Thank
you.
And congratulations.
Yes,
thank you.
Don't apologize. That's amazing.
Right.
But in the meantime, over the next 2 months, we will miss you all. Keep up with us, the conversation. We still want to have it. Reminiscing past seasons.
Absolutely.
Hashtag ABTV Grays. I'm Julie Partin, and you can find me on all things social media at JuliePartin.
I'm Tara Johnson. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at TJ Wagging Her Tail.
And I'm Marisa Serafini. You can follow me on Twitter at SerafiniTV.
See you next year.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.